Hi, kindergartners. Welcome to the second week of learning all about worms. Now, last week, Miss Allen taught you so many cool things about worms, like a few different parts of the worm. Now, there's lots of different parts of the worm, but these 4 different parts. Can someone remember what is this one? Right here at the very, very end. What is that part of a worm? It's the tail. Awesome job. Let's see. We got it. All right, this next one right up here. We also have it. We used to eat with it. What is this one called? Whisper it to me. That is the mouth. Everyone open your mouth up really, really big so I can see it. Awesome, that is the mouth, just like the worms. Now, this part right here is just like a bendy straw or like your finger. Your finger has a lot of different parts that move and wiggle too, just like this part of the word. It starts with the S. What is that part? It is the segment. Awesome job. Now, this last part back here, it is a little bit bigger. And does anyone remember what it is called? Starts with the k, 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 k. It is the clitellum. Can we say that word together? Clitellum. Awesome work. So these are the different parts of a worm that you learned last week. Last week, you also learned all of these different kinds of worms. There are earthworms and night crawlers, red worms, and blue worms. There's even marine worms. Look at how pretty. And there are leeches. So there are a lot of different kinds of worms that you have learned about. We're going to keep learning even more this week, but last week, Miss Allen also told you what a worm needs to live. Now, in order for a worm to live and to breathe and to grow, they need something that is around all of us. Just like us, worms breathe it in, breathe it out. It's air. Worms need air, just like we do too. Worms also need something to live in. Now, they don't live in the house just like we do. They live in the ground or the soil. So worms need a place to live. They need to breathe air. They like to take naps too. So they need sleep, just like we do, so that they can grow and eat food and grow even longer and bigger. They also need water onto their skin to help them. So worms need all of these different things in order to live. Now, we're going to keep talking about things and worms, and we're going to talk about some things that are living and non-living. Can you say those words with me? Say living, non-living. Now, things that are living, that's like us. We are living. And what it means to be living is that if you are living, you eat, grow, you reproduce, which means you might have babies, and you breathe. So let's say those ones together. Get out your fingers. Ready? Say eat, grow. Say reproduce. Say breathe. Awesome. So all of living things need to eat, they need to grow, they could have babies, and they need to breathe in order to live. So some things might be a boy or a girl or a person, maybe a tree or a bird or a whale. Those are all animals or people or plants, and they are all living things. Now, what does the word non-living mean? If we learned all these things mean the word living, what does it mean to be non-living? What does that mean? I'll give you 30 seconds and whisper it to me. What do you think non-living means? Go. Tell me more. Good. Tell me even more. What do you know about non-living things? Oh, that was pretty good. So a non-living things means that they don't need any of the things that we need to live. So they do not eat. They don't grow. They are the exact same size that they started with. They don't have babies, and they don't breathe. So a shirt or your clothes that you wear, they don't eat, they don't breathe, they don't have babies, they don't grow. They might shrink in the wash, but that doesn't mean that they're living. A piece of pizza, they don't eat. Pizza doesn't grow. Pizza doesn't even breathe. A kite or something fun like your toys that you play with, they are non-living because they don't move, they don't breathe, they don't grow. A pencil that we use at school, that doesn't grow, that doesn't breathe, it doesn't even eat. Could you imagine if your pencils were eating? That would be pretty silly. Books, they don't grow and they don't eat. So all of these things are called non-living. Can you say it with me? Non-living. Now, what is it called? If you do eat, you do grow, you do breathe. What is that called again? Living. Oh, yeah. So living things eat, grow, breathe, and sometimes they can have babies. And non-living things don't do any of that. So now we are going to go on a scavenger hunt around my house to find things that are living and things that are non-living. Now, I'm going to need your help to help me figure out if it's living or non-living. Okay, here we go.
Whew, okay, I searched all over my house and I found this big bucket of things. And I need your help to tell me if they're living or non living. Remember, living things can grow, they can breathe, they can have babies, and they have to eat. So let's take a look to see if we can see if these things are living or non living. This first thing I have is this box of tissues. Now, these box of tissues, can they grow? Well, if I pull up the top like this, it gets taller, but is it growing on its own? No. Do a box of tissues need to eat? No, they don't. They can't have babies, and they don't breathe, but they did come from a tree. And a tree, when it's planted in the ground, that would be living, but these box of tissues, they are not. So I'm going to stick them right over here. Next, I have, let me grab it. Come on over. Oh, my cat. Now, my cat, when I first got her, she was a little kitten. So she grew into this big cat now. So she grew. I have to feed her every day, so she has to eat. She breathes just like we do. And if she really wanted to, she could have babies. So my cat is living. Let's see what we have next. Ooh, this horse. I used to love playing with this horse. Now, this horse doesn't actually eat. I don't feed him every day like I feed my cat. What do you think? Do you think this horse is living or non-living? Why don't you whisper it to me? If you said non-living, you are right. This horse is not living. It doesn't grow. I don't have to feed it. It doesn't eat. It stays the same size from when I bought it. So this horse is non-living. See what else we got. Oh, look at these. They smell beautiful. These flowers, what do you think? They're in a vase, so they're not in the ground anymore. Do you think they are living or non-living? Why don't you tell it to me in a monster voice? If you said living, you're right. These flowers used to be more living, which means that they were even growing even bigger in the garden when they were planted, but now they were chopped, so you're close. If you said non-living, you might also be right because these flowers aren't growing anymore. They're not getting any taller, but they're still blooming. They still need to eat. They take moisture and water from right here and it goes up their stems and they still can grow their petals and open up and blossom. So they're still kind of growing. They still need to eat. They still need water and nutrients from the water, just like vitamins that we take. So they still need those. If they had a little seed, they could make another flower if it fell into the soil. Let's see what else. They can breathe. Flowers need oxygen and air all around them in order to breathe. Now, they don't breathe the same way we do. They don't have a nose, but they still need air all around them so that if they were in a box and all covered up, they would die and shrivel up. So As soon as all of their water and nutrients run out, they won't be alive as much anymore. But for now, they are still living, and that's why they still have their beautiful color and they're still so big. Let's see what we have next. Ooh, this is a pumpkin. Now, it's not October, so this pumpkin isn't real. Now, what do you think? Is it living or non-living? Whisper it to me. If you said non-living, you're right. This pumpkin is not living. It doesn't grow any bigger. It doesn't need to eat. I don't have to water it or feed it every day. It doesn't need air to grow. If I put it in a box and put it away for the summer, it would be okay because it is not living. But if it was a real pumpkin and it had its stem, this is where the stem comes from, and it connects to the ground, it would start out really small and as a seed, and then it would grow into a really big pumpkin. And that would be living because it would grow, it would need the sun, it would need the soil, it would need water every day in order to grow. If it had a seed, it could make even more pumpkins. So this right here is not real, so it is non-living. But if it were a real pumpkin, it would be living. Right here. Oh, this is so comfy. This is a bean bag, which means inside there's a bunch of little beans. Now, when it moves, it can grow even bigger. But it can't do it on its own. It has to be moved by somebody or something. So it can't grow on its own. I don't have to feed it. It may look like cheetah print, but it's not real cheetah print. So it is non-living. Now let's see what we have next. This is my sister, Ava. Now, she's a human. Ava, do you have to eat every day?
Yes.
She does. Ava, do you breathe every day?
Oh, yes.
Yes, she does. Ava, have you grown in your life?
Definitely.
She used to be a little baby, just like all of us, and now she is big, and she's actually going to college. Ava, what college do you go to?
The U of M.
The University of Minnesota. That's where Miss Allen and I went. So she is in college. She is living. Thanks, Ava. This right here is a dog. Now, I have to feed this dog every single day. He is so cute and snuggly. He used to be a lot smaller when he was younger, but now he has grown up this big. So, he needs food. He has grown. He can breathe. Do you see his nose? He has a nose just like kind of we do, but it's a little bit bigger. So he is, can you whisper it to me? What is he? Living or non-living? He is living. He is living just like we are. Well, thank you for helping me figure out all of these things in my house, if it was living or non-living. I could really use your help.
Whew. Thanks for helping me figure out all the things that were living and non-living around my house. Now it is your turn. I want you to look around your house, see if you can find some things that are living and non-living, and try to tell me why. Why would they be living? Why would that be non-living? Then go into Seesaw and complete the Seesaw activity. On the top, the word that has the green check is living. That means it needs those things in order to live. The top word has the line through it. The red one says not living. So these things are not living. Your job today on Seesaw is to look at all of these cool emojis on the bottom. You're going to touch one. You're going to click it with your finger and drag it. Is it living? Or is it non-living? Make sure all of the emojis at the bottom are gone and then click check, check. Thanks for watching.